Great to see so many of you back. I regret to inform you that I am still not Eddie Muller. Sadly, I remain Vince Keenan, half a crime novelist, and the editor of Noir City, the Film Noir Foundation magazine. Eddie is indisposed. I kid the Czar of Noir because I love. He is actually taking care of some Film Noir Foundation business today. He's going to be here tonight. You do not want to miss that. And you know what? I'm glad he's not here. I'm glad he's not here because we did I get to take you through the rest of our English heist double bill today and introduce you to the League of Gentlemen. Although, as you are about to learn, these are gentlemen in name only. I always think of this as kind of an unplanned companion piece to the original Ocean's 11, which was out the same year, 1960. They're both movies where ex-military men get together and decide to put their skills to use pulling a job. And naturally, the American version is Vegas and finger snapping and hell's a popping. And in the British version, things find their own uniquely English way to go, pear-shaped, as they say. It's based on a popular novel by a man named John Folland, who would write 2 more books about these characters, The Gentleman Reform and The Gentleman at Large. And if you ask me if they're at large, they haven't reformed. That's just my take. The book was popular, got snapped up right away by a well-known American writer and producer named Carl Foreman. He made The Bridge on the River Kwai, The Guns of Navarone, and he always envisioned this as a prestige American studio production. Big money with a big star. And he went all in on trying to get Cary Grant to play the lead role of Lieutenant Colonel Norman Hyde, and Grant was tempted, but ultimately decided not to do it. After that, Foreman said, David Niven, next best thing. Tried really hard. Again, Niven rallied, thought about it, and said no. And if you ask me, in some respects that worked out for the best because you were not going to get a better person to play this uniquely British character than the wonderful character actor, Jack Hawkins. When the Foreman version fell through, the book ended up in the hands of a sorely underrated filmmaker named Basil Dearden. And we are going to be doing a piece on Basil Dearden in the magazine later this year. I'm not saying that to push the magazine, but he deserves some attention. He's done a number of films for Ealing Studios, who made The Lady Killers, our first feature. When Ealing folded up, he went on to make some striking pieces of his own. A film called Sapphire, which is a whodunit that touches on race relations in London. All Night Long, which is a version of Othello set entirely in jazz clubs, where Patrick McGowan from The Prisoner plays Yaya. A movie that trust me, you need to see it. I am not doing it. But The League of Gentlemen would end up being his biggest success. It is also the first film from a company called Allied Filmmakers, which was Basil Dearden and a number of prominent writers, directors, and actors in the UK at the time who were interested in setting up a company somewhat along the lines of United Artists. It did not last very long. This is the biggest film that they made. It astonishes me the number of filmmakers who are in front of the camera in this movie. Most obviously, Sir Richard Attenborough, who would go on to become Academy Award-winning director. There's also Brian Forbes. Forbes was originally just hired to write the screenplay for the league, and he would end up playing one of the gentlemen himself. He would go on to make a spectacular thriller with Sir Richard Attenborough called Seance on a Wet Afternoon. If you have not had a chance to see that, that is definitely one that you need to check out. He also would then go to the United States and made the original version of The Stepford Wives. And I would be remiss if I did not point out that this movie also features Roger Lizzie, beloved to generations of English people for The Life and Death of Colonel Blimp, here playing an utter left brilliance. So you get to enjoy that as well. The thing that always fascinates me about this movie is there's a sociological subtext to it that I love, which is it's about men of a certain age, all of whom fought the war. But the war was 15 years ago, and it's very clear that they don't understand English society, they don't get English society, they feel like there's no place in it for them. It's like they can smell what's coming. Carnaby Street, miniskirts and mop tops, and they don't like it. And so they decide, we need to have a bit of what we had during the war, spirit of the Blitz and all that. And obviously the way to do that is to rob someone. This is their solution. We have a terrific appreciation of this film that was, again, in the magazine. I'm sorry, it's my job. That was written by crime novelist Ray Banks, who points out that this is maybe the most English movie ever made because ultimately it is manners that do the making. As you will see. Some of you may be familiar with a comedy troupe called The League of Gentlemen, who had a TV show also called The League of Gentlemen. One of the ringleaders of that group is Mark Gatiss, who is the brains behind the BBC version of Sherlock. This film is still hugely well known in England, revered over there. And I think it's safe to say it's going to have some more fans here, too, once you've seen it. So again, thank you for listening to me. Eddie will be back tonight, and please enjoy The League of Gentlemen.